Diddy's trial, let's dive straight into the sickest story coming out of New York City right now. Sean Diddy Combs is sitting in a federal courthouse, week 5 of his sex trafficking trial, and the testimony is absolutely brutal. A social media influencer, we'll call her Jane Doe because she's testifying anonymously, broke down sobbing on the witness stand Monday. She's telling a jury of 12 Americans how one of hip-hop's biggest names allegedly turned her life into a living nightmare for 3 years straight. Jane Doe claims Diddy didn't just abuse her. He savagely beat her and made her have unprotected sex with porn stars and escorts. But here's where it gets really twisted. These weren't quick encounters. We're talking about what prosecutors call freak-off sex marathons that lasted for days. Days, people. Fueled by drugs, violence, and threats. The government says this wasn't just about one woman. They're claiming Diddy ran a decade-long criminal enterprise, using his fame and fortune to control multiple victims, including R&B singer Cassie Ventura. The alleged scheme? Force women into these depraved situations through violence and intimidation. Diddy's pleading not guilty to sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation for prostitution. If convicted, he's looking at life in prison. Life. That's how serious. Federal prosecutors are taking this case. This trial is exposing the ugly underbelly of celebrity power. When you have unlimited money and influence, apparently some people think they can treat human beings like property. The fact that multiple women are coming forward suggests this wasn't isolated incidents. This was a system. And if these allegations are true, Diddy deserves every year they throw at him. Shia LaBeouf, the acting coach from hell. Speaking of systems of abuse, let's talk about Shia LaBeouf. A new documentary that premiered at Cannes is painting this guy as Hollywood's most dangerous manipulator, and the details will make your skin crawl. LaBeouf created what he called an experimental theater company, but what former students describe as the theater company from hell, and a straight-up dictatorship. We're talking about a grown man yelling, slamming tables, shoving people against walls, and destroying lives for his artistic vision. Here's how sick this gets. A woman named Sarah gave up everything, including being at her dying mother's bedside, to work with LaBeouf. Her reward? He fired her 2 weeks before opening night. Another guy, Zeke, got shamed for booking a Netflix role and ended up in a fistfight with LaBeouf that left him bruised and bloody. But the abuse didn't stop at his theater company. His romantic relationships tell the same story of violence and control. FKA Twigs claims he violently attacked her, kept guns in their house, and strangled her on Valentine's Day 2019. A stylist named Carolyn says he climbed on top of her while she was sleeping, held her down causing bruises, and headbutted her so hard she bled. Singer Sia calls him a pathological liar who conned her into cheating on her partner. The most chilling detail? In 2015, during a fight with his now wife Mia Goth, LaBeouf reportedly said, "If I stayed there, I would have killed her." They're still married, by the way. LaBeouf spent $300,000 creating a torture chamber disguised as an acting school. This isn't method acting. This is systematic abuse wrapped in artistic pretension. The guy's trying to rebrand himself as a Christian now, but accountability without consequences is just performance art. Hollywood keeps enabling these predators because they're talented. It's disgusting. Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit crashes and burns. Remember, it ends with us? Well, the behind-the-scenes drama just ended with Justin Baldoni getting absolutely destroyed in court. His $400 million countersuit against Blake Lively got tossed like yesterday's garbage. Here's the timeline. Lively sued Baldoni first, claiming sexual harassment on set and a retaliation campaign designed to destroy her reputation. Baldoni fired, back with a massive defamation lawsuit against Lively, her publicist, and even Ryan Reynolds. But Judge Louis Lyman wasn't having it. He ruled that Lively's original allegations were made in privileged court papers, meaning they're protected from defamation claims. The judge also said Baldoni's team couldn't prove that Reynolds, Lively's publicist, or the New York Times seriously doubted what they were reporting, which is required for defamation. Lively's lawyers are calling this a total victory and complete vindication. They're now going after attorney fees, treble damages, and punitive damages. Baldoni's professional life is in shambles, dropped by his agency, sued by his former publicist, and now facing a legal bill that could bankrupt him. This case shows what happens when you try to intimidate someone with deep pockets and good lawyers. Baldoni thought he could bully Lively into silence with a massive lawsuit, but it backfired spectacularly. The entertainment industry is watching this case closely because it sets a precedent. Victims can fight back and win. Alex Cooper exposes college soccer coach call her daddy. Host. Alex Cooper is using her massive platform to expose alleged sexual harassment by her former Boston University soccer coach Nancy Feldman. And the details are disturbing as hell. Cooper claims Feldman fixated on her way more than other players, but not because of her athletic ability. Instead, the coach allegedly became obsessed with Cooper's dating life, made comments about her body, and constantly tried to get her alone. The worst part? During Cooper's sophomore year, she says Feldman would put her hand on Cooper's thigh and ask if she'd had sex the night before. Cooper describes it as a psychotic game centered on her private life. Cooper stayed silent because she was terrified of losing her full scholarship. When she finally tried to report Feldman's behavior with written documentation, university officials allegedly dismissed her complaints and never investigated. College athletics has a massive power imbalance problem. Coaches control scholarships, playing time, and futures, and some abuse that power horrifically. Cooper's story shows how institutions protect predators instead of students. Good for her for speaking out now, even though it's years later. Wizard Liz's ex exposed as alleged abuser. Here's some internet drama that's getting real dark, real fast. Wizard Liz's ex-fiancé Landon is being exposed by his previous girlfriend Abby as an alleged stalker, cheater, and abuser, with receipts. Abby dated Landon from 2023 to 2024 and claims he physically and mentally abused her. She says he love-bombed her with letters, songs, and thousands of flowers every time he messed up, but behind the romantic gestures was stalking behavior, including following her to Ibiza and showing up at her new address with flowers. Here's the timeline that's got everyone talking. Abby has emails from Landon as late as July 27th, but he got engaged to Wizard Liz on September 30th. The math doesn't add up. Landon's threatening to sue Abby if she doesn't remove her videos. But instead of defending the women in her community, Wizard Liz is publicly supporting Landon. Her fans are calling her out for destroying her brand as a women's empowerment advocate. This is exactly why influence culture is toxic. Wizard Liz built her brand on female empowerment, but when it came time to actually support a woman, she chose her man. The hypocrisy is staggering, and her fans are right to call her out. Oprah throws shade at Patti LuPone Broadway drama hit the Tony Awards when Oprah Winfrey appeared to shade Patti LuPone with a perfectly timed dig. While presenting Best Leading Actress in a Musical, a category that included Audra McDonald, who LuPone recently trashed, Oprah paused and said, "Lotta talking going on." This references LuPone's recent controversy where she called McDonald not a friend, and referred to another Broadway star, Keisha Lewis, as a beach who doesn't know what the FEK she's talking about. Over 500 Broadway artists signed an open letter slamming LuPone's comments as degrading, misogynistic, and racialized disrespect. LuPone eventually apologized, but the damage was done. LuPone's comments reeked of racism and ageism disguised as industry experience. Oprah's subtle shade was perfect, calling out the behavior without making it about her. Sometimes the best response is a perfectly timed one-liner. Miley Cyrus catches heat for JoJo Siwa. Joke Miley Cyrus is getting dragged on social media for a joke about JoJo Siwa's sexuality during WorldPride. Speaking from inside a closet, Cyrus said she was going to find JoJo Siwa and bring her back out. The joke references Siwa recently revealing she's not a lesbian anymore after falling for male co-star Chris Hughes on Celebrity Big Brother. But fans aren't laughing. They're calling the joke distasteful and bullying. The joke was tone-deaf. Siwa's sexuality journey is her own business, and making it punchline material, even from another queer artist, crosses a line. Comedy should punch up, not sideways. Billie Eilish and Nat Wolff confirm romance. After months of speculation, Billie Eilish and Nat Wolff confirmed their relationship with a steamy kiss on a Venice balcony. The romance grew from friendship, with their shared experience of Tourette's syndrome creating a special bond. Good for them. Celebrity relationships are tough enough without constant speculation. At least this one started as friendship with genuine connection. Jennifer Lopez's WorldPride performance. Lo made headlines at WorldPride DC with daring outfits and a message about love and acceptance. She performed Kiss of the Spider-Woman from her upcoming film, which is generating Oscar buzz. Lopez knows how to work a crowd and stay relevant. The Pride performance was smart positioning for her film campaign. Bryce Dallas Howard's weird childhood. Bryce Dallas Howard opened up about her unconventional childhood, including reading about euthanasia on Disney lots and talking about dead babies with psychologists. Growing up in Hollywood clearly messes with kids' heads. At least she's honest about how weird it was. We drop the real stories every single day. No fluff, no corporate spin, just raw truth that mainstream media won't touch. This is our format. Crispy, brutal, and straight to your face. We cover every hot story breaking across America. Hit that subscribe button if you want the unfiltered truth delivered daily.